Welcome to the Explainer. Today, we're going to pull back the curtain on a piece of tech that, honestly, powers pretty much everything you do online. Seriously, every time you check your bank account, or like a photo, or buy something, there's a good chance SQL is working its magic behind the scenes. So what is it? Well, it's the language that basically makes the modern internet work.
All right, section 1, a simple click. So how do we even start to wrap our heads around what SQL does? Well, we're not going to dive into a bunch of confusing code. Nope. We're going to start with something you do 100 times a day. Just a single click.
So picture this. You're on a shopping site, and you click that little button that says View My Orders. And boom, like magic, a list of everything you've ever bought just appears. But you know what? It's not magic at all. That one click kicks off this super fast, super specific request for your information. So come on, let's follow that request and see where it's going.
Okay, part 2, the database, or as I like to think of it, a digital library. So where is that request we just sent off headed? It's going to one place and one place only, the company's database. To really get this journey, we have to understand the destination.
Now, I know what you might be thinking when you hear collection of data. You're probably picturing a giant, messy digital shoebox, just stuff thrown in everywhere, right? But a database is the exact opposite of that. It's an unbelievably organized system, and it's built for one thing: finding what you need and finding it fast.
You know, the best way to think about it is really like a huge digital library, a perfectly organized, perfectly cataloged library for data. Every single piece of information, your name, your order number, the price of a product, it all has a very specific address. And that is the secret sauce. That's why it can find your stuff in the blink of an eye.
And this library, it's broken down into sections, just like a real one. But instead of fiction or history, these sections are called tables. So you'll have a table just for customers, another one just for products, one for orders, one for shippers. You get the idea. The key thing is, each table holds only one kind of information. No mixing and matching. It keeps everything super neat and tidy.
All right, section 3, speaking the language, SQL. So, okay, we've got this massive, amazing digital library. But how do you actually talk to it? How do you walk in and ask for the exact piece of information you need?
Well, you need to speak its language, and that special language is called SQL. It stands for Structured Query Language, and it's basically the universal translator for talking to databases. If you want to ask a database a question, you ask it in SQL.
And here's a little fun fact for you, something people argue about all the time. How do you say it? Is it SQL or SQL? Well, the truth is, both are kind of right. It was originally called SQL, but then it turned out an airplane company had the trademark, so they had to shorten it to SQL. And that's why the debate still rages on today. So when we talk to the database, we send it a query. That's just a fancy word for a structured question. Let's build a really simple one right now. The first word is almost always select. This is where you tell the database what you want. In this case, we're saying, hey, just give me the first name and the last name columns. Okay, easy enough. We've told it what we want. Next, we have to tell it where to go looking for it. That's the from part. It's pointing the database to the right section of the library, the right table. So here we're saying, and you can find that information from the customers table.
And finally, we usually don't want every single customer, right? We only want specific ones. That's where the where clause comes in. It's a filter. It narrows things down. Here we're adding where the state is Virginia. So the whole request is select this information from this table, but only where this condition is true. See? It's like building a sentence.
Okay, section 4, connecting the dots with joins. Now, what we just did works perfectly if all your info is in one place. But what happens when it's not? What if the data you need is spread across 2 or 3 or even more tables? This is the exact problem we have with our View My Orders button. Think about it. Your name is in the customers table, but your order history is in a completely different orders table. And that's on purpose. It's way more organized and efficient to keep them separate. But now what? How do we connect the dots?
Well, the secret is finding one piece of information that both tables have in common, a shared link. And if you look here, you can see it. Both the customers table and the orders table have a column called customer_ID. That little ID is our golden ticket. It's the key that lets us tie a specific order directly to the person who made it. So how do we tell the database to use that key to connect the tables? We use SQL's one true superpower. It's a command called the join. And a join does, well, exactly what it sounds like. It combines rows from different tables. So if you look at this query, we're telling the database, start from the orders table, then join the customers table to it. And the most important part is the on clause. That's where we tell it how to connect them, on the spot where the customer ID is the same in both tables. Oh, and the little O and C, they're just nicknames to save us some typing. With this one command, we can pull data from two separate places and get one single unified answer.
Okay, last section. Number 5. Why SQL matters. So we've followed the entire journey, right? From a simple click, to building a query, to joining tables to get our answer. That's the whole shebang. But why is this so important to understand? Why should you care? Here's why. Because this process, asking questions and connecting data, is the hidden backbone of pretty much every single website and app you use, every single day. When you scroll your social media feed, that's a query. When your banking app shows your latest transactions, that's a query with a join. When a business checks its inventory, you guessed it, it's all SQL, working silently in the background. So, let's do a super quick recap of what we've covered. First, you've got the database, which is our organized digital library. Inside that library, you have tables, which are like the different sections. To talk to the library, you use SQL. It's special language. The question you ask is called a query. And when you need to connect info from different sections, you use the magic command, the join.
And really, that's the most important thing to remember. SQL isn't just about code. It's about learning how to ask the right questions. It's the skill of looking at a mountain of data and knowing exactly how to ask for the one piece of information that gives you a powerful answer. And honestly, in a world that's just drowning in data, what skill could possibly be more valuable than that?